Hey there folks, this is GreenXI welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. It's episode 12. In the last episode we checked out the Cotton Drifting Festival and it ended up with Venna and Keiichi having a sweet little moment where they were setting the cotton down the river to get rid of all the evils inside the body or something like that. So this episode's going to be some more of the cotton drifting, but it's going to go into the darker elements, I'm pretty sure. While steaming off into the stream, I somehow got separated from Venna. I wasn't very lonely though. I know this place now. This is where I live. My home. It's probably better if I just stay here instead of wandering around aimlessly. Wasn't it just the other day that he was lost just getting home or something? Someone would surely find me while I was enjoying the evening breeze. I heard a familiar voice. It was Tomataki-san's. I headed towards it. Hello sir. How'd it go, Tomataki-san? Were you able to get some good shots? Yeah, fortunately. Tomataki-san was with a girl. I felt a little like I was intruding. Okay, we've heard of this woman before. She's the nurse. Wow, she looks different than in the anime. Well, definitely the same, but I don't know, a bit more angular. The chin, mainly. How was it, Keiichi-kun? Did you enjoy the festival? From the way she spoke, it seemed like she was a resident of Hinamizawa. Yeah, she's going to be a pretty important character. I really should try harder to remember people's faces here. What was her name? Well, it was fun. My face must have given away how desperately I was trying to remember her name, because she gave a light-hearted chuckle. It's probably because it hasn't been long since you moved here. Pretty hard to believe, seeing how friendly you've gotten with the other kids. If that's how it looked, it was probably all thanks to Venna and Miyo. Perhaps you feel more like a resident of Hinamizawa after taking part in the festival today? I wonder about that. Oh, that's not like you. I tried to get used to Hinamizawa, but there was still plenty of things I didn't know. The faces of people I'd met, for example. Things that had happened in the past as well. Oh. You're feeling left out because of something like that? It's not so much as feeling left out. It's just, I'm not sure how to say it. That incident at the dam construction site, the fighting over it and other conflicts, that terrible incident they pretended they didn't even know about whenever I brought it up. Even though it was in the past, as someone living in Hinamizawa, it wasn't wrong to want to know about both the good and bad that had happened here. Well yeah, you want to know the bad as well, so you don't have anything to worry about. If it'll put you at ease, then I'll tell you everything I know. Tomataki-san's smile made me more relieved than it had ever been. Oh, we're going to find out more about it. It was hard to think of what to ask when someone said, ask me anything, though. Even when there was so much I wanted to ask. Then, could you tell me about what happened when the dam was being constructed? There's a big incident where Hinamizawa is going to be submerged, right? Oh yeah. I think the locals will be more knowledgeable about the dam than I am. Well, if you don't mind, I'll tell you what I know. It's only what I read in the newspaper though. Tomataki-san's eyes entered an unfocused gaze as he searched through his memory, then he spoke. Ooh. The decision to start the dam project was finalised 7 or 8 years ago. I heard it was the next major project after Karobi. This dam thing is pretty important to remember for other arcs as well. It'll be like a recurring theme, if it's like the anime. There were 3 major issues in Japan at that time. Improving inter-island transportation infrastructure, meeting the higher demand for electricity, and flood control. There was a boom of dam building due to the massive economic stimulus they provided on top of generating electricity and flood control. Hinamizawa had the right conditions to support dam construction, so it was singled out. Oh shit. The dam reservoir would have covered quite a lot of ground when it was completed. The entire area, right up to Yaguchi, way upstream, would be underwater. But why did they have to pick a populated area like Hinamizawa? Couldn't they have instead picked a place where nobody lived? I'm not really sure why. But I heard that it was just the right terrain for building a dam. Of course, there were protests here in Hinamizawa. Rika-chan had said there was a battle. From that choice of words, I had to guess things had turned violent. So they should! They want to save their village. There was a trial, and it was even brought up before the National Diet. National Diet? It was covered in the Tokyo newspapers too. Miyo had told me all about that as well. I'm sure every resident of Hinamizawa had united to fight together. The feeling of solidarity found here, which could not be expressed properly with mere words, was likely brought about by that battle. Yeah, you can definitely feel it, can't you? As a result, bribery and scandals were brought to light. As things got more and more complicated, they eventually halted construction. If I wanted to know, now was my only chance to ask. It was certainly a bizarre incident that boys my age will be curious about. I felt a little shame from the fact I was petty enough to have my curiosity piqued by Venna and Miyo's refusal to talk about the event. But I figured I might as well ask since I had the chance. Just so I would stop thinking about it so much. So there was a dismemberment, right? There was. I happened to be here in Hinamizawa at the time, so I remember it well. It was you, you murderer. Tomitaki-san's answer was non-gallant in contrast to my hesitantly forced-out question. It was about this time, 4 years ago. It was the day of the Watanagashi, if I recall correctly. Debate on whether to continue construction on the dam was in disarray. Scandal after scandal rocked the project near the end. The incident that was the final nail in the coffin for the dam project. A fight at the dam construction site ended in the victim being murdered. That would stop anything, wouldn't it, to be fair? A murder. Fearing prosecution, the 6 assailants divided the remains into 6 pieces and each hid one. Yeah, we know this, we read the newspaper. 5 of the 6 criminals turned themselves in out of guilt, but one was still on the run. The right arm he'd hidden had yet to be found. The major details lined up with what was in the tabloid I'd read earlier. Oh wait, this is just a KFC man, isn't it? He lost his right arm as well. It certainly was a tragic incident, but it wasn't so terrible that Rana and Mion needed to hide it from me. Well, they're girls. They seem like the sort to hide that sort of thing. I guess they didn't want someone who just moved here to have a negative impression of Hinamizawa. I felt grateful for having friends who worried so much about me, as well as shame for still being so interested in it. It was near the end of all the trouble with the dam, you see, so everyone was saying that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. Cursed by the god. Name of the god at the shrine that held the festival today, if I recall correctly. Exactly. You'll be hearing that name a lot. I see. The guardian deity rained divine punishment down on the evil dam construction for trying to flood Hinamizawa. Makes sense, in a sort of roundabout way. Apparently the younger ones didn't think so. But it seems the elderly in the village never doubted that it was his curse. I can't say it every time, I'll mix it up every time. The woman with Tomitaki-san said with a mischievous chuckle. She is quite mischievous, that's what she's like, she likes her dark humour. Tomitaki-san began laughing with her. It was so infectious I ended up laughing as well. Really? But I wonder about now. There are quite a few, I think. Amongst the youth too. A few what? People who believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse. The woman's lips were still curled into a smile, but her expression turned stern. Then after that, they continued every year. We still haven't even got her name. Always around this time, so something happens every year at the Cotton Drifting Festival. What continued? Tomitaki-san paused for a second as if to build up some suspense. Then he whispered to me, as if someone might have been listening. Every year, on the day of the Cotton Drifting Festival, somebody dies. The year following this dismemberment, on the day of the Watanagashi, a man from Hinamizawa who had supported the dam fell off a cliff overlooking some rapids and died while he was on vacation. Unfortunately for his wife, the body was never recovered. He supported the dam construction even though he lived in Hinamizawa. At the time, there were whispers amongst the elderly saying it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. It says he lives there, but it also says he's on vacation in the paragraph before it. That's weird. The woman chuckled mischievously again. Then the next year, the night of the Watanagashi, the shrine's Shinto priest died suddenly from an unknown illness. His wife drowned herself in the bog that night. That's like a marsh bog, not like a toilet. The shrine's Shinto priest, you mean he was from the shrine cure? The woman nodded. There was a rumour amongst the villagers that they weren't able to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger. Then the year after that, again on the night of the Watanagashi, they discovered the battered body of a local housewife. Housewife? Up until now, all these mysterious deaths were people involved with the dam or who had connections with Oyashiro-sama. With that in mind, could the housewife have been involved in some way too? Exactly! She seems happy. The woman stated slyly, no, it was more menacingly. One of the victim's relatives, you see, was connected to the younger brother of the dam supporter who fell to his death 2 years before. Oh, okay, so those two are connected. The younger brother is still alive, it seems, but it did bother him quite a bit, so he moved to the neighbouring town. I'd move out as well, maybe. For a while I stood there with my mouth agape. The battle over the dam construction with Hinamizawa's future at stake, and the murder at the centre of it all, that was all I knew, and that was all I wanted to ask about. But that wasn't all there was to the story. Homicide, body disposal, accidental deaths, terminal illness, suicide, fatal beatings. I'm a pretty level-headed person. I don't really want to believe in curses, but the freakish deaths happened every year on the day of the Watanagashi, and all of them were related to the dam construction. It was easy to dismiss each of them as coincidences by themselves. Okay, in every arc of the story, of every arc of this game that's coming probably, this is going to be the central sort of thread that you have to follow. This is something that happens, or has happened, in every arc to make things go a bit weird, and that's why I'm guessing things are going to start going weird for Keiichi very soon. It was easy to dismiss... Oh, okay, I read that already. But when you put them all together, dismissing all of them as coincidence would then defy logic. I don't believe in curses, but every single year on the day of the Watanagashi, somebody or something makes it happen without fail. Could just be a killer. The woman chuckled again, as if she picked up on what I was thinking. It felt like she was saying, maybe they was, maybe we frightened him, stuff like that. I felt embarrassed at being read so easily. I pressed Tomitaki-san to continue, a bit of impatience and irritation on my throne. In my tone. On my throne? Then? So someone died the next year, right? Who was it that time? I wonder, who do you think, Keiichi-kun? The hell? The way he said it didn't agree with me. The sarcastic tone ticked me off. Don't avoid the question, I'm serious here. Hey, calm down, Keiichi-kun. I realised when she tried to calm me down that I had been panicking. But I'm trying to avoid the question, Keiichi-kun. It's just, when you say the next year, that's today. Dun dun dun. When she hesitated to say it, Tomitaki-san finished for her. I broke into a cold sweat. I really didn't like the direction this was headed. Is someone gonna die today? Nobody wants to speak of it, but they all think it's gonna happen again tonight. The festival was so cheerful though. Well, the victim last year, the housewife, she was a non-believer. It turns out she didn't even attend the Watanagashi festival. There's a rumour going around that if you didn't participate, you would incur his wrath. So that's why everyone came to the festival then, even on such a murderous night. Didn't you hear anything about this, Keiichi-kun? I never even heard a whisper of that rumour. Then the reason everyone was at the festival was they were afraid of the curse? I figured that must have been the reason. There were a lot more people at the Watanagashi than usual. I guess everyone was just afraid, after all, of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I couldn't utter a single word. In this modern age, where we've made progress in all scientific fields, shedding light on the unknown and misunderstood, where black and white television has been eradicated, we've sent men to the moon. Even with all of our accomplishments, this can exist in modern society. Tons of invitations were sent out to neighbouring towns, youth groups to help pad the numbers, but after that string of events, few decided to join. The municipal committee members were complaining about how hard it was to gather participants. It makes sense. Also, well, from outside the village. Also, the police are treating each case as isolated. They don't believe they're connected. They're trying to keep it quiet, so it's all plainclothes officers. It finally began to dawn on me why Rena and Miyo were reluctant to talk. If nothing happened during this Watanagashi, everything would have been over with and I'd been none the wiser. If nothing happened, all would be well. In that case, it would all end up being just crazy talk. I should have just pretended like I knew nothing from the beginning. Then they wouldn't have had to act like nothing happened. And we would have all gotten back to life as usual. Maybe it was just too much for him, after all. The woman ran her fingers through her hair as she sighed. No, it wasn't, not at all. I tried to act strong, but that just served to emphasize how much the information had unsettled me. After seeing how I looked, Tomitaki-san appeared to regret saying anything. Letting out a sigh, he then spoke, causing an awkward, upbeat demeanour. Keiichi-kun, surely you don't believe in such things as curses? Well, no. If the causes of all of the crimes were unknown, with the perpetrators and their methods all mysteries, then I would think it's the work of a curse. But that's not how things are in reality. The police are investigating the evidence and suspects to uncover the truth. Hearing him say police made me feel a lot better. It was perfect for repelling the word curse. The first one, the dismemberment for example, I told you didn't I? All but one of the perpetrators were arrested. It's only a matter of time for the last one. The motive turned out to have been an argument they had while intoxicated. That's no curse. Don't you agree? That was true. If it didn't happen on the day of the Watanagashi, then I wouldn't think it was related to the curse at all. The accidental death of the man who supported the dam is the same, the one who fell off a cliff. He was in a position that made others hate him. The police made a point of investigating from that angle. They concluded it was an accident, not foul play. But they both happened on the day of the festival, right? Yeah, just think about it, Keiichi-kun. you think people with a lot of enemies here in Hinamizawa could participate easily in a local festival? It would be especially hard for them to be around during the Watanagashi. So they probably left Hinamizawa intentionally around this time of year to travel, don't you think? It wasn't a very clear explanation, but I sort of understood what Tomitaki was getting at. So I pressed on earnestly, asking more questions so that I could convince myself. Then, Tomitaki-san, what about the priest who died after that? The one with the unknown illness? That also happened on the day of the festival. It's even easier to explain what happened to the Shinto priest. The Watanagashi is a really big event that happens once a year. It's probably from all the build-up stress. Yeah, could be. Or it may have been because of a pre-existing condition. But it was an unknown illness. It's hard to believe something with an unknown cause, stop doing that, bloody hell, could exist with all our advances in medicine. It's just an exaggeration. Rumours making rumours. Anyone would get worked up over having incidents happen 2 years in a row. The sudden death is quite natural though. Of course, the police ordered an autopsy because of the strange way he died. But there wasn't enough for them to open a full investigation, you know? Turns out it was just a sudden death due to illness. The priest's wife committed suicide, correct? What about that? I believe I already explained that. Everyone was shaken up by the incidents happening for a third year. Those who had strong faith were quick to believe it was the work of the curse. Of course, that included the priest's wife. Apparently they found a suicide note that said something like, "My death will quell Oishiro-sama's anger, so nobody else had to die that year," sort of thing. Well then, how about the next incident with their wife? That happened on the day of the Watanagashi too. The perpetrator has already been caught, and the case has been closed. Turns out it was just some nutjob trying to continue the legacy of the Hinamizawa curse. Oh. Then, how about the incident the next year? That's this year. Tomitaki-san gave a hearty laugh. Nothing will happen. Not this year. There was never a curse to begin with. It's just that a group of people believed it was the explanation for a string of coincidences. My internal computer finally got itself back on track. I felt a bit embarrassed by how childish I'd become after losing control and panicking. I can see very clearly now that Keiichi-kun really does love Hinamizawa. Even if Oyashiro-sama's curse actually did exist, Keiichi-kun couldn't bring himself to believe that such a thing existed. I felt very relieved. I should probably just forget everything I heard tonight. I'll greet Renna and Mion tomorrow with the same smile as always. They probably also like tonight to end without incident, so they can continue on tomorrow without having to worry. Perhaps seeing my change in attitude, the woman who had been listening in stretched as she got up from the rock she was sitting on. Well then, I should be getting back. Goodness, I think I may have gone on a bit too long. There are so few people compared to the crowd from before. I could only make out a few groups of families enjoying the cool evening air. I looked at my watch. It seemed we'd talked for the best part of an hour. Oh wow. Can you come along with your friends, Keiichi-kun? Not gonna look for them? Better hard actually, let's go find them. They might all be looking for me. Hehehe. You're quite the scoundrel, making the girls look for you. See you, Keiichi-kun. Have a nice night. You too, Jiro-san. I'll see you a little bit later. Tomitaki-san seems to be quite the scoundrel himself, so his name is Jiro. After dusting off her backside, she disappeared into the crowd of people, still busy cleaning up the shrine grounds. Keiichi-kun! So sorry. In her place, Renna came running over. I could see all the others behind her. Speak of the devil. Looks like we're going back to Habichiri mode. My bad, Kai-chan. We got so caught up in our discussion. I'd completely forgotten about them while caught up in my own conversation, so we were even. Aye, so Tomitaki-san was with you. This works out perfectly. Why is that? We still need to settle the shooting gallery competition. Oh, so Tomitaki lost, didn't he? That's right. So I guess I'm gonna end up dead last. Uh-huh. Just you. In the end, after my dramatic victory, Ika-chan was the last challenger, but there weren't many targets left. The ones remaining were all tiny and difficult to hit. I'd just go for the sweets in that case. She did take her time and aim, but all 3 shots completely missed. She was to end up sharing the loser's crown with Tomitaki. What if she did that intentionally because she's so nice? However, she did a little mewing cry in front of the owner, and he turned to mush instantly. Oh, she didn't lose after all. She was given a pack of gum as a consolation prize. I'm not that fussed in gum. Her methods were a bit audacious, but she did avoid being a loser rather magnificently. Come to think of it, Ika-chan's quite the trickster. She is really. I have no idea what Keiichi is talking about. Now then, it's decided that Tomitaki-san is dead last. Everyone cheered and applauded. Tomitaki-san smiled wryly, slightly bewildered. So, Tomitaki-san, are you ready? Penalty time! Huh? Oh, I completely forgot about that. You're too naive, Tomitaki-san. This is why our club never lose. Mion pulled a felt-tip marker from her pocket. Oh, she's gonna draw on him. Show him some mercy, Mion. At least use a washable marker. A permanent one's too harsh. It just has to be permanent. It comes off when you do the laundry anyway. When you do the laundry... Whoa, whoa, what's this? Please take it easy on me. All of us pinned his arms behind his back. Mion approached him with the marker in one hand. I'm sure he could get away if he wanted to. Look at him. Ah, script. But she didn't bite onto Tomitaki-san's face. She wrote on the shirt he was wearing. Oh, that was nice of her. Better have your big break this year, Mion. Renna took up the marker next. Show me your photos next time, okay? Renna. It was a little heartwarming. I just had to laugh. That's nice of him. They're not being evil to him. But he's wearing a black top, so how can you see it through the marker? Like, through the black... yeah. This is more like a farewell card than a penalty. And not as soft as the rest. I'll make sure this is a proper penalty. Dead last, Satoko. Try harder next time, Rika. Here you go, Keiichi-san. I couldn't decide what to write, but based on what kind of penalty this was probably the most appropriate. Come back and play again, Keiichi. Tomitaki-san was silent the entire time. At first he was quite bewildered, but now he had a different look on his face. So I have to wear this all the way back to Tokyo as part of a penalty? Of course, better wear it all the way home. You could wear it when you come back. It would be nice. He appeared deeply moved. Embarrassment mixed with a wealth of other emotions made him turn a bright red. Ah, they like him so much. Understood, I'll wear this the next time I come here. I promise. Everyone cheered and applauded. It was the finest parting gift possible for a buddy heading out tonight. I saw the woman who was with Tomitaki-san standing near the festival grounds. It seemed Tomitaki-san noticed her too, and knew it was time to leave. Seems like a guest is waiting. Isn't it about time? Ask her out, you. Yeah, that's certainly how it seems. I thought she was hinting. Tomitaki-san headed off towards her and seemed to apologise for making her wait. We all shouted stuff at Tomitaki-san. Each time we did, he looked back and waved his hand. Eventually, he faded into the darkness of the night, out of sight. It was quite the casual farewell. This wasn't the first time any of us had seen someone off. They'd done the same thing many times before. Oh, he's gone. Well, it's about time we take off too. Rika-chan had to stay behind with the other committee members since they were having a meeting. Sadako was tagging along with her. I headed back home with the usual suspects. The walk back was quite lively. We talked of the day's war stories. It looked so nice in the night. Look at her. Should have done this. Should have done that. That kind of stuff. Renna and I parted ways with Mion, and then it was just the two of us. Then we got to my house, and I parted ways with Renna as well. It's already pretty late. You alright by yourself? Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. It's close. I'm going to run too. If you run into some weirdo, just yell. If someone does come, will you come and save me maybe? Maybe? If I hear you. Ow. Okay, I'll scream loud enough so you can hear me. I'm sure she will. She's quite loud by the seems of it. Merrily spinning her arms at high speed, Renna dashed off. She was fine. In that mode, not even an adult could stand against her. Renna's cheerful presence disappeared, and it finally became quiet again. The curse that not a single person even whispered about. The more I learned about it tonight, the more unsettling it became. It didn't show on any of their faces, but they were probably all quite concerned about it as well. But if nothing happened tonight, then it all ends up just being crazy talk. Nothing will happen. Nothing bad, nothing at all. What's wrong, Keiichi? Why are you standing in a place like that? Come inside, you'll catch cold. Here's my mum. Did you go, mum? To the Watanagashi festival? No, they didn't see her. In the end, your father didn't wake up, so I missed it. A little disappointing. Mum stuck her tongue out with a bitter and embarrassed look on her face. She's so immature. And there we go. That's the end of chapter 6. That was a nice representation of... That was a nice introduction to the culture of Hinamizawa, as well... Oh god, there's quite a few. As well as getting to know about the murder series, you know. Okay, should we check out all the tips? There's quite a few of them this time, but quite a few are like... Yeah, they're all sort of newspapers and stuff, so they're probably going to be quick. Hoju couple's falling incident. Hoju, we've seen that name before. Yep. From the June 1980 edition. On the afternoon of that, at 2 PM, office employee and his wife of Hinamizawa village in Shishibon Prefecture disappeared after falling 27 meters from the observatory platform in Shirakawa Prefecture. This was year 2, wasn't it? Year 1 was the dismemberment thing. Year 2 was where these people fell off a cliff. Or observatory platform. Police and firefighters searched downstream and discovered the body of one of them at around 7 PM that evening. His wife has yet to be found, so one's dead, one's missing. The search has run into difficulties due to the effects of Typhoon 3 from the previous day. It appeared a railing at the observatory that the leaned on had broken, causing him to fall. The groundskeeping staff was questioned by the police in regards to facility deterioration and if park maintenance was performed properly. I don't know. Okay, so Year 1 dismemberment, we've seen a lot about that throughout the series so far. Year 2, we've seen a bit more about that, about how they fell off the cliff. Maybe it was weak fences or whatever they were leaning on. And now, Year 3, the terminal illness death of Shinto priest Furude. An unknown illness. Okay, let's find out about this death then. From the June 1981 edition. On the afternoon of around 10 PM in the district of Hinamizawa village in Shishibon Prefecture, the Shinto priest of the Furude shrine passed away after an existing condition he was recovering from suddenly worsened. Parties close to the deceased said he was suffering from anxiety issues concerning the festival, which was to be held that day. And like that bloke said, it could be stress that killed him off, that gave him that illness. And that's sort of proving it, isn't it? Also, after his death, his wife went missing, leaving behind a farewell note. So in Year 3 as well, someone died and someone went missing. And in Year 1 as well, the killer went missing and the dead person died. The police and local youth association continued the search. However, given the presence of the farewell message and the fact that the Onagafuchi marsh is said to be bottomless, they have run into difficulties. Yeah, she could just be down there in the bottomless marsh. But can something really be bottomless? Wouldn't there be an end at some point? Housewife murder, Year 4. Is this the last year? I can't remember. It wasn't reported in the newspaper. That's all we're getting for that one. Housewife murder. There's reason for that. And if it shows in this, it probably will. Radio log. Okay, here we got something a little bit different. What's this one though? This is Okinamaya Station calling Unit 3. Unit 3, please respond. This is Unit 3. Loud and clear. Backup is heading your way. Hold position until further instructions. Over. Roger, Unit 3 acknowledged. Requesting no headlights. Requesting radio silence. Station, the doctor has arrived. They want to carry it away. What's the order? Over. Acknowledged. Leave it to the doctor. Affirmative. Understood. Ah, backup has arrived. Shouldn't we let them take a photo first? I think the Vic is done for. You know, in all honesty, I'm not sure what that's referring to. Is it meant to be... I don't know what that's referring to. If anyone can tell me in the comments or something. Because I honestly don't know. But anyway, this has been GreenXI. I hope you've enjoyed finding out about the culture and about all the murders. Even in the tips it was there, and it gave us some, you know, a little bit of insight into each of them. But it's still a lot of mysteries, and that's why this is a question arc. This is one of the question arcs. It gives you a lot of questions, gets you trying to guess what's going on around that damn war time, and what's, you know, trying to predict what's gonna come for this year. Because, spoiler warning, something is gonna happen very soon. So, this has been GreenXI. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit, folks.